by ourselves, sort of.
Yeah, by ourselves and the members of the community that we trust the most. But it was really, really
Mhm.
funny. So there's a lot of really good clips.
I mean, I watched the clips and I was like, wow, this sucks. I didn't realize it was the entire time.
It was the entire time.
Awesome.
It was really good.
Well, that teaches us to trust Comcast with both sides of this stream.
Uh-huh.
Some reason we've become spokespeople for Spectrum, who screwed you for 4 months of like incredible
Yeah.
screwing,
Yeah, yeah.
next level screwing, and then now have become our heroes
Now I'm
of
their
slightly
spokesperson.
faster internet. Just slightly. It's really not that fast.
It's just like the speed that I'm paying for.
I am definitely not getting the speed that
Nope.
I'm paying
You are
for,
not.
but you know,
Guarantee it.
yeah. Anyway, welcome back to the cabin. Congratulations on our full vaccinations.
We're good to go. Maybe.
Sort of. In
Maybe
2
sorta.
weeks.
Maybe. You knocking
I've
wood?
got some. What did you say?
Oh, I don't know. What you got?
I've got some thrilling hot tub updates.
Tell us about the hot tub.
Man, we heated it up, and then we spent all day today checking the pH levels and the bromine content, and trying to figure out what alkaloids mean. I was trying to figure out. I was like, teach me. I don't remember any chemistry. We measured stuff. We put drops of things and things. It was very scientific. We're thinking of getting lab coats for when because we have to do this all the time. We got to keep checking the hot tub, So we're thinking of getting lab coats, but they'll be like sexy lab coats, like
Yes.
nothing underneath.
Wow. Straight to the tub.
Oh yeah, straight to the tub. We check the tub, we enter the tub. That is the way.
That's good stuff. So you have a brominator?
Brominator. It's bromine is the substance that is instead of chlorine, because something about hot tubs. I don't know. I didn't investigate fully.
I think that there's something called I only know because there was one.
Do you know about hot tubs?
That's all I know about hot tubs is that there might be a
Okay.
brominator.
Mm.
Because when I was like 14, there was one attempt at like a family gathering.
Mm-hmm. At a hot tub?
No.
At a family gathering.
There was.
I see.
Tried once, and it was in Las Vegas, and it's an interesting group of people from all branches and walks of life. And
you got some characters.
It's kind of like if a family was only fail sons. But it's kind of a competition.
Entirely composed of fail sons.
Entirely.
So that no one really is the fail son. So you're actually competing to be the failiest son?
Yes.
Wow.
And if you had to pick one, it was probably Tom, who I think was the youngest. I'm pretty sure that's where he lands. I think he's the baby of that branch.
He's coming in hot with the fail son as baby?
Yeah. Fail son baby. That's pretty impressive.
The failiest fail son.
Uh-huh. And they were they were a plumber, okay?
Okay.
And also many things. Many failed things. And have a cousin, and they were just like
you're like it didn't happen. It's happened in the past.
The past, I don't know. But she was like finishing her junior year of college or something, and so she was like telling stories about like being in a sorority or whatever. And they did like a sorority prank where they like threw a mattress down stairs or whatever, sorority stuff. And then they
Sure.
capped off the night by pouring bubble bath into a fountain.
Oh, geez.
Okay. And whatever,
Okay.
that was their story. Like, well, we did this in college.
Mm-hmm.
And and then Tom, who was quite drunk, just started yelling, "You broke the brominator," at this like 21-year-old sorority sister. Just like, "You broke the brominator." And everyone was like, "What?"
What is the brominator,
He was like,
man?
"If you put bubble bath in, you're gonna break the brominator." And some blue call, like, "You bitch." I think that he called her the C word and just like started yelling at her about the pain and suffering that she was causing to this fountain because of the
Do
brominator
fountains
issue.
have brominators?
What's that?
Do fountains have brominators, or was he just confusing fountains with hot tubs because he had failed Sun so much that he used fountains as his personal hot tub?
I mean, I don't even know if a brominator is a real thing. This is just like, I'm just watching. This is just a firm. You said brominide or whatever, and I'm like, oh yeah, when I was 14, and my drunk fuck up uncle just yelled at this like young lady for hours, hours, and then
Oh
so
no.
there was like a patio where he had
Mhm.
all of his beer, and then he would storm out through because he would just kind of like, everyone gets mad and they just kind of like storm around, but all of his beer was on the patios, and then everyone was sitting in the living room. So he's just walking and darting back and forth through, like, from one storming area to the other to get his patio beer, and just every
Uh-huh,
time like broke the brominator.
uh-huh. Oh my god. Okay, so brominator is a thing. In fact, that would be the name of the thing we just ordered, I think, because we were putting straight bromine in, which apparently is a sketchy move because bromine alone can't touch your skin. It's supposed to disperse.
Uh-huh.
Um, so so we were looking up brominators, and there was like a brominator. I wasn't the one looking up the brominator, so I didn't know it was called a brominator. I just thought it was a thing that you put the bromine in. It must be a brominator. So this guy didn't pick it up. Maybe he just used fountains as his own hot tub, or fountains have
Maybe
their own
maybe
brominator.
they need bromine. So brominators are real. I'm not denying the reality of a brominator. I'm not a brominator denialist.
Well, maybe this guy, because he was a plumber. Like, I'm trying to play devil's advocate, fail son, uncle's advocate. Okay, he had been a plumber. He had dealt with, you know, bubbles in the fountain, and it broke the brominator. And he was like, "Oh no, I know what it means to be on the other end of this. Like when we're like absurdly annoyed at someone who won't like turn down their amp because they're making the show bad, and we know what it's gonna sound like." From the other side as a live sound engineer, and you get frustrated because you're like, you don't understand, but also say you're also a drunk fail son that can't communicate. Now
Yeah.
you're just like, you broke the brominator, bro. You
Oh,
know?
over and over the brominator. I'm not denying the reality that he's probably had to deal with a broken brominator, but I'm saying that, it's
Mm-hmm.
probably, if, you're trying to have the first family reunion in 40 years or whatever, that maybe you shouldn't call your niece the C word for breaking a brominator.
Yeah, I mean, you know what he should have called her.
A hot tub salesman.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Replace all uses of the C and B word with hot tub salesman. Uh this is my policy that I'm running on for some sort of elected position.
I think I mean, yeah, change the world. I'm actively trying to adopt it into my vocabulary.
I am too. I'm teaching it to everyone.
Be the change you want to see in the
Spreading the
world.
good. Exactly.
All right.
All
So
right.
this is A Ton of Thoughts, which is a weekly segment on this program where Summer comes on and ambushes me with a topic that I do not know what it's going to be beforehand, and then we see what happens. So, Summer, what is today's topic?
Okay, today I'm going to talk about a thing that we have talked about this before. I have told the story before, but we haven't done it on here, and so I think it's always still interesting, and it's a thing we. Oh, did I freeze? 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 Okay. I think I'm back. Am I back? No, I'm frozen. I'm back.
Ah, okay. I have to keep Discord open, or else you freeze.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
We're gonna call this a ton of AV issues.
Fuck yeah.
Okay. The topic is something that we have spoken about before. Wait, pause for a second. That's really trippy when you put your hand in so you can see it on the left side of the screen, but you're on the right side of the screen. Like, let your hand dangle down. No, other way. I saw your hand for a second, unless there's another. Yeah. Down. Get it. Yeah. Just, because it's like.
Is this the good
all right,
stuff?
Yeah, this is the good stuff. This is what the people come for. Okay. The topic. Okay. Reality, and what it means to what it means to be real. So this was a thing I said to you, I think recently, because it was brought up when I was at the cabin and we saw all the stars. But I have a thing that I thought of a long time ago that's just a goofy thought, because it doesn't actually based on reality, but it branches out into interesting other topics. And also is like a thing I thought of many years ago, and then now it seems more relevant because of the era we're living in of deep fakes and fake news or whatever.
Okay.
Okay, that's my horrifying intro. Okay. So what makes something real? There is the physical reality of okay, this desk is real because I'm running into it or touching it. But isn't part of what reality is, at least what we've seen with the internet, reinforcing that reality is an agreed upon state. So if more people in the universe agree that this color is red, then it's red. If more people agree that this wavelength is what we call this measurement, then that's the pitch it is. If we agree that this historical event happened, as the larger body, then it is. And then what do we call insanity is when someone fully believes in a reality that is not the endorsed reality by the masses.
So there's a Philip K. Dick quote for this. It's quite a good one. It's reality is the thing that continues to exist even when you stop believing in it.
Yes, that is a very good one. And that is the physical reality of what if everybody in the universe believed that there wasn't a desk in front of me, but there is a desk in front of me, and I run into it, and I keep running into it.
Well,
but we jointly agree.
I mean,
and then one person thinks that there is a desk, because then are they insane or are they sane?
I mean, I would fall back onto I would go here's my PKD quote and my supporting statement. It's yes, you have refused to believe in the desk, but it still remains. It's still in front of you. This is the nature of your physical reality. And that would be my counter to that. But to indulge, to yes and instead of no anding you, also there is a degree of observation effect and the raw ability of the human mind to change. I mean, if we were to musically, it's a phenomena of the first time you play a mix for somebody else.
What do you
And
mean?
that it's I think that Brian Eno wrote about it and like all those old dudes, but the first time that you play a mix for somebody else, you start to hear like the issues with it because someone else is putting their ears on it, and it's this it's like this exposed reality.
Oh, you mean you notice more things that are wrong with it because suddenly you're being more judgmental because it's being put in front of someone else?
Yeah, to a degree.
Yeah, but I would also say that especially in the way of feelings towards how we remember events as a collective consciousness or the effect of certain people or historical events. Yeah, that is very shaped in a collective understanding of things more than the physical reality of a desk being in front of me. Right?
Right. Well, historical memory is, spotty, but it's the agreed upon the way that things are, for
Um
sure.
well, that's what I'm saying. If that's why people are upset when, all textbooks teach a version of things in a country that doesn't include the things that the country did that are not necessarily perceived as positive. That is shaping a reality, and the more people believe in uh you know I guess the interesting thing is like there is no morality. We agree upon morality, and that can be fully shaped through uh perception and changing and controlling the realness of how people see what happened.
Yes.
Okay. So now,
Damn,
the next step
Scarholm.
of this, what'd you say?
Scarholm's got some stuff.
What about fate? Maybe things are happening in reverse, so history is just an already laid out path to an unchangeable future. Oh, I have a lot on that. The future is affecting the past. Well, I think that okay, that's another tangent, but I think that that's why I have a bit of an obsession with randomness, because I think randomness existing or not existing kind of determines whether there is free will.
Mm-hmm.
Because if there isn't randomness, then uh, it seems like
Then there's
uh,
hard limits on if there's no random act, then that means that there is a hard binary limit of this thing or this thing, which means that everything can be predicted, which means that what you do doesn't matter.
right. Now, of course, some of the stuff that you're having, haha.
Uh,
Unfortunately, sober in this
now
moment.
the uh my favorite like kind of hippy dippy example yet as far as like the future influencing the present or the past
Mm-hmm.
um is a melody. Like so we've got like in a standard scale 7 steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the
Mm-hmm.
function of the given step is equally like at the present moment in a melody
Yeah.
That note is going to be defined by the note that both preceded it and also comes after. Will
You mean
determine
like
that note's function.
an analysis of it?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
even how
that's
you hear it.
super. Mm-hmm. Oh, in how you feel about that note too.
Yeah.
In its, yeah, it'll change its perception going forward.
Yeah.
Man, that's kind of that's a important like thing to think about in music in general, being a time-based art. Because what else does the future, like, does a visual artist's future work affect how you see their past work? I don't really think so.
I mean, it can affect how you analyze it as well. It can affect how you analyze it as like a writer or someone doing like poetry about, oh, as we can see in this late stage work, we can see how there were the blooming influences in these early works. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can analyze it on that, whereas a melodic analysis is like a straight up that's a that's a that's an acoustic phenomena.
Yeah. Yeah, that in the very moment of, still within the piece, it changes how you perceived the past
Yeah.
and how you are perceiving the present. Um okay. So on reality, and this is where it gets more hippy dippy, but we'll come back in. Okay. So if reality as far as a human population, and I'm talking about, so let's get away from physical stuff, the physical worlds, what exists when you're, what was it? What is the
Uh,
Philip K. Dick?
Reality is what exists when you cease to believe in it.
When you cease to believe in it. Okay. So away from that and more into the like more esoteric concepts. So like not a door and not a floor, but more like the esoteric concepts of something that the group of people believe in or not. So I guess if if more of the if more of the human population believe that that they see a thing coming down from if more people than not believed that they saw a UFO all at the same time, that would make us perceive it as real. But if less people than not say they see a UFO, then we see it as not real. Like if we're all looking in the same direction and there's 20 of us and one person says I see a UFO right there and the other 19 go like there's nothing there, man, we immediately assume that person is insane, right? They're having a delusion instead of they're actually seeing the UFO and the rest of us aren't. So it's a
Right.
consensus of consciousness. And we're surveying everyone's senses, and there's a consensus mechanism in a group where we go like crazy or like reality. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, so then what would be the most real thing? Okay. What would be the most real thing that we can all see at the same time? So my answer to this, which I know is not fully on because we can't all see the same stars at the same time, would be the night sky. And the fact that when we look up, that is the shared, the night sky, the moon, the sun, that is the shared reality that the most consciousness can observe at the same time. Right?
Right. So this is assuming that, again, we're making like a large and small assumption and going that human beings are the only creatures that experience consciousness in the universe.
Well, no, I
Or
mean,
that Earth creatures
we're
are
talking about
this.
Earth creatures, and I'm sure if there are other creatures out there, their opinions matter too. This is my this is, I'm just making sure if anyone replays this in 50 years when we're contacted, I've covered all my
Covered the
bases, and
bases.
I won't be exterminated in the great ending of humanity. Anyway, but yes. So, okay. The point of where I'm getting to is this is why I think people are obsessed with fame. Because I think being famous makes you more real. Because more consciousnesses have observed you and have agreed upon your existence.
Yes.
And that's what I think I know there's power, I know there's money, but I also think that's what people seek.
Attention.
Attention.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So then the word attention brings into like that's what advertisers seek as well.
Right. Well, I mean, they're looking for, that's why your data gets sold. That's why your behaviors are tracked. That's why X, Y, Z, everything. It's about.
So attention confirms reality, right? And if more people have your attention, you have shaped reality to be what you're trying to confirm. So if you're an advertiser, you're trying to shape reality that your product matters.
Mm-hmm.
And that your product is important and something that people buy and something that people care about. That's the reality. And I think with fame, with individuals, with musicians, with artists, blah, 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 I think we're trying to shape that we matter. Right?
Right. Well, I mean, your art is going to be your digestion of reality. It's going to be like
Right.
anything
Yes.
that means something to you. If you're not just like, here's a pretty flower. Yeah, but even if it is just like, here's a pretty flower, and that's like your
Mm-hmm.
true intention, that is your view of reality. And you would like it to be accepted and validated, like Jack is saying.
Accepted and validated, and I think you want to convert more people into believing your genre of reality.
Yes. I'm in agreement. That is, I mean,
This is what religion
religion
is.
is. Yeah. But it's also
Yeah.
art.
Right. So is every artist starting their own religion? I don't think so. I'm just
I mean, to a degree.
Yeah, I mean, starting their own, propagating their own view of stuff.
Isn't starting your own religion kind of the greatest American art form?
I mean, Mormonism.
It's a major export.
Are there other Americans starting your own religion? I guess like generally cult leaders.
That's what they're going for.
Pretty American. Are there other religions? There's got to be other religions that are not American that have been started.
Oh, yeah, there are other religions than Mormonism, Summer. There are There's only
What
one.
else?
Well, I mean, there's Judaism, Christianity, Islam,
No, that have started in America. I'm Jewish. I'm Jewish. I know that Judaism is another religion.
Summer, I'm gonna.
Thank you. That's what I'm looking for. Man, this is really tripping me out every time you put your feet or arms.
Yeah, because
no,
that's
I like it. It just like feels like this continuum that's like
Yeah, well, it's the past influencing the future.
There we go.
Circling.
Nordic mythology isn't American though.
Right. So we're trying to. So you're
Anyway.
talking about recent additions to the American religious lexicon.
Yeah, I don't even know why though I was talking about it. That was the thing we were talking about. Wait, I want to go back and look at some of these comments because I missed some. There's some stuff about the notes, the melody thing, and it's interesting. I know people with perfect pitch can see sound like a C is yellow. Yeah, that's called there's a word for it.
Synesthesia.
Synesthesia. Yeah. My mom had a student once. My mom is a piano teacher. She had a student who could feel colors. I swear to you, they would like blindfold her and she would touch a piece of paper and tell you what color it is. How does that possibly work?
Fuck yeah.
I don't know why that got brought up at lessons, considering that it's music lessons, but do you see the stereo field when I'm high? Me too.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. Synesthesia is really cool. People with I don't know if everyone with perfect pitch can see sound. I haven't heard that. I know lots of people with perfect pitch. They can't see sound though. But I have a lot of feelings towards perfect pitch because I was raised in a household. Both my parents had perfect pitch and I do not. It's just a genetic, skipped my generation, I guess. Or whatever it is. I don't think we really understand it.
And sometimes it's like actively useless. Like because relative pitch.
That would be my argument.
If you can,
I have a lot of. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, if you can pick out intervals, it's in many ways more useful.
It's harder to change the key if you have perfect pitch. If you have to change the key of a song, it really messes you up if you have perfect pitch, and it's much easier if not. In most other ways, it really helps. But man, it was my dad used to drive me to school and he'd put on the radio and he'd be like, what key is this in? And I'd be like, I don't know. I'm not going to know. I'm just not going to know. I'd be like in fourth grade, just like, I don't know. I don't have perfect pitch. I just don't. Whoa. I accidentally. Okay. Wait, I want to go back to these other comments. It's not natural gift, if you will. So I wonder with someone with synesthesia, or I wonder if that would affect the color, the what comes after it.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure it wouldn't change it entirely because a color is associated with the pitch, but I wonder if it would affect the shade or something like that.
Well, so this is interesting because I don't know how, like, synesthesia, again, like perfect pitch, is a freak genetic occurrence.
Yeah,
and
the
if it's
person
not,
said perfect pitch is a combination of natural predisposition and training. That's actually not perfect pitch is a naturally occurring. People just have it. What you can develop is really good relative pitch, which I have now pretty good relative pitch, but perfect pitch, some people just have it. They just have it. It's
right.
weird.
I mean, they have it, but I mean, also, if they're not trained to recognize notes, then
right,
it's
you wouldn't know what color to call a color unless everyone always told you that that's red.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not saying that it's not real.
So much
yes, if you don't know music, you can't develop it, you can't work off of it, but it is
yeah.
And synesthesia, again, I totally know that it's real. And there's like kind of an interesting relative synesthesia that I do. Kind of like, so I don't have perfect pitch. I have relative pitch. I don't have perfect synesthesia, but I have developed synesthesia. My mentor taught me it's called idiokinetics, and Gary Burton, who was at Berkeley, and they're like a vibes player. They kind of developed this concept because jazz vibes, you've got the mallets, and you have to do like weird shit with your hands to like hit the intervals right, and it sucks. And if you're like playing really, really fast, you have to develop this relationship between the piece being played and the physical movements that you do in order to do it. Just like performing on anything, but vibes is just especially a thing. And then you take it a step further into well, you have to get all of these physical motions down, and then you also have to play it musically on top of everything else. So, idiokinetics is this idea that when you're learning a piece, you, especially on difficult passages, you visualize it's like kind of like a computer program for your brain. Easiest example is that you're playing a piece and there's a section that's all 16th notes. Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And as you're learning it, you go like, I will visualize an apple while I perform this part. And as you're playing, you stop thinking about these. You stop thinking about like what notes you're playing. You stop thinking about the rhythm. You're just like, I'm doing the apple. I'm thinking about the apple. I'm visualizing the apple, like et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's like it's vaguely meditation-y, so on and so forth. But then after you've done all of the rote stuff of just learning the physical movements, and you're just like, I'm playing the apple section, and you're just visualizing that apple, you perform more fluidly and naturally as you do it. And it strips you of like some anxiety, blah, 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 performance tactic. So I did this for a really long time. And after I did that, if I'm like working on a mix and I'm like really, really in something, I like visualize stuff as I'm listening to the music. And it's kind of a reinforced thing. And it's definitely after I did all of this stuff. I'll like, see stuff inside my head or whatever. So it's like kind of like a trained relative synesthesia. Long
Yeah,
story
you've
short.
talked about this before, but I never actually put it together. You talked to me about this before, and it's really interesting. And I just kind of remembered that. So I grew up doing intense classical piano stuff, and my mom's way of teaching has a lot of she uses a lot of metaphors for each moment, and she'll be like, this part needs to sound like running water, like
Yep.
it's just a river floating along, and it's supposed to be like or whatever, and it's just supposed to sound like this. Imagine this running water. And she never said like, now all you should think about is running water, but it's actually really similar because each section would have an imagery associated.
Yep.
And I never thought of it as you're thinking of the imagery almost to distract from the nerves and focus the brain so that your muscle memory can just do its thing. But especially when the imagery is associated with the emotion the section's trying to evoke, is really, it's interesting. Was that part of the process? Did the image have to be associated with the feeling?
It didn't have to. It certainly helps, but it's more about a consistency of
Mm-hmm.
like, this is I mean, there was like a piece that I did, and then it was like a whole thing of just like ants marching towards an apple and then like taking a piece out of the apple, and it was like a whole visual like story. That's the most involved that I would say that it got. But it was every single time that I played the piece, every measure corresponded to this specific part of this ant march, like to the
Uh-huh.
apple, taking a bite from the apple, taking it up a tree, and this whole thing. And I wouldn't
Uh-huh.
think of anything other than this. Like, it was just this pure visual thing in my head, and it's not like, it's not what are my fingers doing, what is my bow doing. Now this is after practicing and getting it down like
Totally.
rote, but then in the moment of performance, to like take it from beginning to end without like missing a beat or not performing the musicality of the piece. It was just is ants to the apple, taking the bite, going up the tree. And it was the same every single time. And that was what was more important, more so than it matching up to an emotion, was the consistency of what it was and how it corresponded.
Yeah, so
So,
do you think the benefit of that was the distraction? Because for me, especially in competition, it was always I would be in the middle of a piece and I would be like, "Wow, this is going well." And the moment I had that thought, I would focus on my physical playing and I would mess up and get totally off.
so I
Like if
would
I
say,
had the thought, what'd you say?
I would say that it was a pleasant side effect more so than the main thing.
Mm.
The main
Uh-huh.
thing is that what you're doing is you're kind of assigning like a meta code into your brain that is associated with an entire complex system,
Mhm.
because you're playing and you have left hand, right hand, you have the dynamics, the way that your body is angling to do everything. There is all of these, there's this intertwined, interwoven system. And instead of thinking about those individualized parts, it's assigned to one solid core bit of brain matter, and then
Mhm.
you practice with it. It's not like because it's not like a magic thing where it's like, I'm just gonna go into my nice, because the memory palace is awesome. I totally love memory palace stuff. But it's not like I'm gonna go into my nice place and pull out all of the data points. It's more like I have practiced a thing. It's more like, it's kind of a little more like CIA MK Ultra of like, when you hear the ice cream truck, you're gonna go kill a senator. Like, it's more like I do this visual story and then I
You just do
perform this
landering
task.
yourself, but just to play a piece as opposed to murder
Uh huh.
a CIA target.
Yeah. So it's more like that. It's more like deep self hypnosis.
That's really interesting. Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of curious to play more with that. I guess I haven't done quite as like intense memorization stuff since doing classical. I feel like in the music I typically play, it's not like you can't mess up or get off. It's just a little different. I don't know. Still would be worth trying.
Probably worth trying.
Yeah. Um, wait, someone said about synesthesia. Uh, wait. I wonder how real the colors feel if you have synesthesia, if it's just a color in your mind or more like hallucinations. And this gets back to the core question, which is it real? The thing that makes it less real is just that only one consciousness is experiencing it. If everyone collectively experienced it, then it would be certainly real, right?
Well, I kind of see the difference here, because there's a world of difference between like, in the world of hallucinating, okay?
Hmm.
There is a pretty big difference between the moment where you strongly believe something and the moment where you physically see something interacting in the world that is definitely not how it is.
Right. But would it be not how it was if everyone was experiencing it? Or would that just be what was happening?
Well, I mean, I'd say that it's more. But if you're just talking about like your single closed system, because all we can really know is our closed system. And
Well, that's why we check in with each other.
yes.
I think that's the main function of going like, are you feeling it too?
What up with those trees? Yeah, that's real. That's as real.
That's
I mean,
why we reference others.
it's how we reference others, and it's also okay. I mean, I guess it's interesting that in the Scarholm leads a really proper, interesting life.
How do you smoke DMT before? So you smoke it, then you come down, and then you record, right? You can't record while you.
I don't think you could.
I think you lay down, right?
I think you gotta lay down.
You gotta lay down, but then right after you record.
Okay, Paris is like,
Who's
I think you
smoking
can.
DMT and then recording while they're DMT tripping?
All right, this sounds like an experiment for chat. If y'all wanna go ahead and try this and then
Report back.
you can send me your mixes.
But all of it must be done well in your 15-minute DMT experience.
All right.
And no fake holding it in. Like you have to fully be
Hashtag a ton of challenge. This is gonna be the next big TikTok craze. This is how we'll be famous. This is how we'll get attention. Is we're going to encourage this. This is what we've done.
This seems dangerous.
Yeah, I find weed is too much of a performance enhancer as far as like listening to music, that I think you get too divorced from reality, because like you can smoke weed and be like, oh yeah.
Well, I mean, and I think this goes.
I mean, I think that other people can smoke weed and be like, this sounds amazing, because I'll just smoke weed and go like, why is the song trying to kill me? Why does the song not like me?
Who was it that said write drunk, edit sober? Somebody
who probably died young.
One of those old man, young man. You know, those writers that were cranky. All those cranky guys. There was like a whole series of cranky drunk writers that were famous.
2,000 years.
Yeah, just our history of cranky drunk writers. But I think that goes for all the things not that you have to do that. You can certainly not do that. I mainly don't do that. But if you're going to do that, write drunk, write high, but edit sober.
Definitely edit sober, everybody. And you don't
Except
have
for the DMT challenge.
You don't have to do the a ton of DMT challenge. Hashtag do a ton of DMT. Sobriety is cool, and I am an advocate. But I'm also fun. You're right.
I think it would be better. What is M?
Probably.
God,
What are the kids doing? They're just injecting letters.
I don't even know what L. They just have letters. Okay, Molly. But what's L?
I mean, I'm assuming LSD.
Oh. What, you gotta shorten the 3-letter drug? Do we not have time for the other 2 letters?
Too much time. We got too many B's and C's.
Yeah, I mean, this is Boomerang Around, where we tell you guys how out of touch we are with the scene.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know what it is anymore.
Now, okay, so in the world of hallucinating, there is a confirmed reality. Oh yeah, you probably just can't chat out like, I would like some marijuana or whatever.
I see what you're doing. All right.
Yes, thank you, Phoenix, for keeping
and we're
this
canceled.
Yeah. So there's a degree of like confirming your reality. God damn it, Berserker.
And we're super canceled.
Nicely done.
Well, it's mainly illegal. It's illegal in our state now.
Right.
I think.
Most states. Not most. Is it most?
I don't know.
It's a lot.
Honestly, we got less fun as soon as it got legal to me. I don't know why. I think it's not. I think it's a problem with myself that matters. But I stopped smoking weed. Not stopped, but I smoke weed way less since it's been legal, significantly. I don't know.
That. Oh, you mean that grandma stuff? It's only bath salts for summer.
I haven't replaced it with something more illegal. I'm just saying, like, it got less exciting.
You know, thrill.
I still indulge on the occasion. It's just all right. Wait, you were saying something.
Okay, well, I mean, there's a moment. So, we're talking about what's real, what's not real, and it is interesting that in the pantheon of even hallucinogenic experience, okay,
Yes.
which is inherently not real, okay,
Uh-huh.
what makes your
sorry. It's turning into what was that shroom database where you could report your trips?
Arrowhead.
This is turning into Arrowhead and I love it.
It is a little bit.
I
And
used to go on there and read it all the time. Okay.
like daily.
Go on and then okay, go on with what you're saying.
Okay. There is a moment in which you are seeing something that is not there, that you're going to go like, hey, buddy, are you seeing this thing that also, or are you willing to accept that I'm seeing this thing that isn't there? And it is crucial at that moment for someone to validate you.
You mean that even if you're like, I am aware this is not part of the agreed upon reality.
Yes.
The moment where someone either goes like, I'm afraid of you because you're not in the agreed upon reality, or I still like you.
Right.
That moment is crucial. Yeah.
That's a crucial moment.
That is a crucial moment. I still support you. I'm still here for you. But what if they're like, no, that's real.
Thanks, Berserker. I appreciate it. Is summer not here? Have I just been talking into this microphone for the last 3 months? And
You've just been talking and then answering your own questions. You've been like, but what if reality? You've been like the foil to yourself this whole time.
Ooh, bad convo. Let's I'll do an edit of that where I'll just like blank it out, and we'll just post that as well. We'll just incept this our own video.
Beautiful. Really just like enhance the experience. Wait, okay, someone said something about dripping the shower water sounding like a symphony.
That's awesome. Good job. Awesome. You did okay, so I think that like serious sobriety is good and in many cases important for a person to exist in society and also within themselves and be healthy. I also low-key think that there is a perfect amount of drugs to do, like in your life. And
you could do
that
it too
guy
fast.
did it.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say like the arrangement of like, so if you do too many, then you don't have any more drugs that you're allowed to do. But if you spread them out evenly, then you could probably
spread them out.
Keep doing drugs, and that's why there's a certain an acceptable amount.
Well,
everywhere. Dangerous.
Yeah, and addiction is like a societal there's the experiment with the rats where they like gave rats a bunch of, was it cocaine or heroin? Can't remember. It was cocaine, and rats love cocaine. They're
Everyone
like,
loves it.
hell yeah, cocaine water. And then when it was just like an isolated rat that had kind of like a bad rat life,
it was a sad rat in a cage without like a theme park, and then they gave them the theme park, right?
Yeah,
or just a bigger cage. I don't know.
I
they
think
made it cool.
It was like a cage with other rats, and a rat theme park, and like because they drive cars. They literally, you can look up videos of rats driving cars, and they drive them because they like it. They're really cute. So,
what do you mean they drive cars? Hold on.
Yeah, look up rats driving.
Do they
cars.
know how to brake?
They do they fucking drive.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Can we watch it together? Can we watch a video right now of rats drive? I'm stuck on it. Sorry, I know you're trying to make a point, but I have not seen a rat. They brake, they turn?
Yeah.
Or do they just hit walls with the cars?
I think they're pretty fucking good at it. Rats are smart.
Oh, and that makes me feel worse for them when we
experiment on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe some of their experiences with the experiments involve driving cars, and they wouldn't get to do that otherwise, you know? So it's like some rats get a better life. Fast driving life.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You got it pulled up? Rats driving cars?
You might not have audio, Summer, but I think you'll get the...
I don't think I need audio for this. What's happening? And Guinness hasn't tried to show his butthole one time on this call. And you know?
How to stop buffering issues anywhere, anytime, instantly.
So I can bring YouTube onto the stream, but I can't skip ads. So
Internet
we watch
providers
ads.
Don't want you to know about
whenever
fine.
we do this.
Cool.
Chris Hurst and Matthew Anderson are two computer engineers.
Internet.
They found a way to boost
also,
Wi-Fi signals
YouTube
instantly.
has figured out that
They both work
I
for a large
watch
internet
all of the
provider.
ads, so they
That's where they
serve me
discovered a
the
dirty
longest
secret.
ads.
Internet providers are deliberately
And the worst
slowing
ad-
down
we
your
saw that-
connection
This ad is literally about what we were
by
just talking
analyzing
about.
your internet data
Whoa.
usage
You got your Google
and slowing internet
shit on.
speed and bandwidth during peak hours. All internet providers
Analyze
are
my
using
no,
life.
don't bet.
to trick
I
them
got-
into
bad.
an expensive internet
Bad.
package
It's a bad thing.
and to give
I got
their
nothing to hide.
high-paying customers more bandwidth.
Look at this is
They were
literally about what we're
disgusted
talking
by the
about. Wait, why aren't you
company's
skipping
money-grabbing
it?
attitude.
Oh, I can't.
So they decided to
I don't
quit
know
their
how.
jobs.
Skip ad.
I can't.
Together,
What do you mean you don't know
they
how?
I don't
started
know
looking
how.
for a way
Well,
to bypass
okay,
the
so
speed
to bring the
throttling.
video
9
and
months
audio
later,
into
the Novatech was
OBS
born.
while also
The small
not
device
needing to
improves
screen
Wi-Fi speed
share
and
and
range
like show
drastically.
everyone my email and shit, I have to do a
The
browser
Novatech
tab.
can boost your Wi-Fi up to 300 megabits per second, and you don't need any
and,
technical knowledge to use it.
Let's see. So
The Novatech is really easy to install.
yeah, it's not. It's a whole thing. And Jack, this is Summer, my co-engineer and bandmate. This ad is still happening. No, this is worth it. This is an experiment. Yeah, U block for the future. All right. This is good.
I
Speed with the
honestly don't
Novatech.
think this ad is gonna end.
It's
I
a
think that
long
we're
one. They
stuck.
give me
Buffering
really
issues
long
again.
ads.
I don't think it's gonna end.
Perfect
I
for
think
streaming
that
movies
we're
and
stuck
series.
in a loop, and you might have to
Like
take
Netflix
it. Can
and
you bring
YouTube.
it back to your side of the screen?
Enjoy a
and
super
Hey,
skip the
fast
First
ad?
Rider, it is the
experience.
Thought stream.
But it's also
So,
great for browsing and working
yeah.
from home.
I kind of like this
Enjoy a
because,
powerful
okay,
Wi-Fi signal.
so the
anywhere
thing
in your
is,
home.
is that,
You
like,
that we're stuck in a loop
Chris
of
Hurst
watching
and
an
Matthew
ad while we
Anderson
try to
want
watch
people to
rats
know
drive
about the
cars?
Novatech.
watching
We think that
YouTube
internet
clips
should be
is kind of a
fast and
thing that
affordable
people
for
do on
everyone.
Twitch.
Yeah,
That's
but
why
no
we
one watches
decided to
just
keep
ads.
the price down.
And so the
Right
thing
now,
is
you can
that
get the
I don't
Novatech with a
particularly want to
50%
wind up
discount
doing that
and
like all
fast
the
shipping
time.
in the
So by
US.
having
Do you
this
have a slow
almost
Wi-Fi
weaponized
connection?
as a punishment, whenever someone's like, "You really got to watch this YouTube," click. You got to do it.
Try the
You
Novatech
got to
today.
watch this YouTube. I'm like,
100%
okay,
risk-free.
we'll
Are you
wa-
making everyone suffer with the volume of this thing? Because I'm not
Get
hearing
yours
the
today.
volume on it.
By clicking
Oh
here.
yeah, I'm not passing audio to you, Summer. Everyone else is getting it.
Oh my god, I'm sorry, everybody.
I wonder how
We are
much
in
longer
ad
is left.
purgatory. We really are. I don't think it's gonna end. I think that they figured out that you are incapable of skipping them.
No, they figured it out.
Yeah.
They know. I'm making YouTube their money. It's another ad.
Oh my
When
god.
it comes
They're
to
not-
weird biological
wait, no,
here's the rat.
it's
the
rats.
contributions
Here's
of
the rat.
rats are
It's
pretty
happening.
much
They're
everywhere.
gonna drive some cars.
From controlling
Theoretically.
brains to modifying genes, scientists use
they
them
come.
in so many different ways. A
So
team
cute.
of scientists at the University of Richmond did some similar research with them, but don't worry, no
Oh.
rats were harmed while doing experiments this time.
What is this video about?
This process was kind of
Dog.
similar
That's a
to how we
dog.
train our dogs or
Are you
cats
sure
to
they're driving
perform
cars
some
in this video?
actions.
I hope
They
so.
constructed a tiny car out of a clear plastic food
Okay,
container.
printer?
on
They're making
wheels
a-
with
they're
an
making a car.
aluminum floor and
They're
three
making the
copper
car,
bars
okay.
functioning as a steering wheel. When a rat stood on the aluminum floor and gripped the copper bars with their paws, the car started moving forward. Touching the left, center, or right bar helped in steering the car in those specific directions.
No, that's just a
11
robot
male
car.
rats
They're
and
not
Nope.
6
driving
female
that.
No.
rats were
There's
trained to
levers.
drive in a 4-square meter
Get out.
rectangular arena.
Yep.
They were rewarded with
Look,
some
can they zoom
delicious
in on the
Fruit
levers?
Loop
How do we know
cereal
there's
pieces every time they drove the car forward. But that wasn't interesting enough. So the scientists started placing foods in different positions instead of placing it in front of them to make things harder for those
He's
rats.
steering.
But the rats were ready for all the challenges. They started
Can they just-
navigating
I need
the
a
car in
close-up on
unique
this to
ways
really-
to reach the destination of the reward. Now you may be thinking that the stress level of those rats were high at the moment, but you're wrong. After analyzing the stress-creating hormones in their brains, scientists found out that they were completely relaxed while driving their mini cars. I mean, just like humans, the stress level was a little high when
Oh
trying
my
something
god,
new
he
for
is
the first
steering,
time,
isn't he?
but
Yep.
then it was pretty normal. The team is now planning to do
Is
some
he also
follow-up
making it
experiments to
go?
understand
Yes.
how
Or is
he just
rats
steering?
He's
learn
making
to
it go.
drive and why their
Oh
stress
my
level
God.
was that low. Anyway, what do you guys think about it? Comment down below. And thanks for
Rats
watching.
zone out while driving
Subscribe
too.
for more interesting videos made for geeks.
They gotta get a little rat radio in there.
Cardio burns fat, right? No.
Oh,
Cardio
now I've just
actually
got
burns
an
calories,
ad playing in the
usually
back.
in the form of carbs in the bloodstream that
Cool.
are then replaced
Hold on.
with the very next meal that you eat.
We
and
could
stored as
just,
more.
you know, we don't have to have any more thoughts.
It's
We
gone.
could just
We
listen
could just
to
watch
ads. Yeah,
So-
I mean, that's the content that no one is doing out there. What's something that no one else is doing on the internet? No one's just
watching
watching ads.
This is novel content. Branding. So Summer, what they were talking about in the voiceover is that they measure their like stress hormones while they're driving, and
Mhm.
they're stressed out the first time that they like try a new thing with the car, but then
Like us.
like us, and then after they learn how to do it, they just like driving. They're like more relaxed driving. They're just like, hell yeah, I'm driving my car.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It's like you remember the first time you get on the highway, the first time
Oh, yeah.
when you're driving and you're just like I for real didn't understand how much is in the power of the driver as a kid. I did not understand. Like no one let me drive a car when I was little. Like you know how everyone has because I'm an only child, I didn't have like a sibling to be like, "Oh, you can drive my car." And like my parents never did. When I
Yeah.
was little, they waited till driver's ed. So like everyone else in driver's ed had tried to drive a car before, and
Or
I
they've
had
gone
never
like
did.
in a parking lot or whatever.
Right. I never did. No one showed me. And then I was like in the car, and the first time you get on the highway, you're just like, "Oh my god, this is so dangerous."
Oh,
Everyone's just doing this all the time. You just put me in the back seat my entire life. You just threw me in the back seat, and I trusted you. You turned around. You would always like scream and be like, "Oh, that was a close one." Like I don't think I fully understood what was happening.
wait, did I ever tell you when I got my license?
No, when did you get your license?
Oh, so I grew up in North Dakota, which is like
I feel like they would let you get it at a very young age.
14.
Nice.
Straight up license. Like off you go because of like all the farming. So, you know, you're expected to be like a laborer and need to drive into town to get the sacks of grain or whatever, and then that just applies to all teenagers. So North Dakota is, and I'm pretty sure this law hasn't been updated, it's just an endless stream of 14-year-olds just going around like, let's go pick up a pack of cigarettes, boys, and like driving really big cars. It's hilarious.
Honestly, I thought you were gonna say younger. I'm glad it's at least 14. I thought you were gonna go like 12 years old.
Oh, okay. I mean, you get your learner's permit when you're 13.
Yeah, okay, that's getting pretty young. I think we got our learner's permit, I don't know, 15, something like that. Cars can actually drive whales, just made me crack up. They start driving at 12?
Oh, hell
in Italy,
yeah.
those tiny, windy streets? Oh my God, that'd be so stressful. Those streets are so little. Like, as an American, we got those big cars. Like, I would just be like, they would get so close. I would be terrified to be the one driving. I was terrified as a passenger when in Italy. My friend had a amazing story that their family rented a car when they were in Italy, and then because the roads were so narrow and no one was used to it, their grandpa like nicked it on a building, and the car was black, and there was a big scrape of the paint, and they just colored it in with a Sharpie.
Nice.
Because it worked. So, hot tips for defrauding car rental companies. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't dare. I know thyself, right?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to, unless I have a pack of Sharpies, I'm not.
Whole pack. Just yeah. Oh man, driver's ed VHSs, real good stuff. They were very concerned about PCP. So so rats. Like they experiment with the rats, and they give them cocaine water, and if they're in a sad cage, they'll just drink cocaine water until they die.
Right.
But if you put them in a fun cage with like cars and other rats to drive cars with, they'll still occasionally drink cocaine water for fun, but not get all sad and just drink Coke water all day.
Yeah, and I think that was a big revelation for people. I think it brings up to like what's going to happen in the future when we have less obvious jobs. When more jobs are done by robots, how will we have purpose as people and not just be a bunch of sad rats?
Well, I mean, you did just read Brave New World.
I did just read Brave New World, so you can't drag me out of this mindset. That is why.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a combination of that, and I know, I think there was some weird stat about Michigan that it was something about an absurd amount of alcohol being sold this year. But, there's nothing to do with getting fucked up. I think that is coming to it. Well, I think that is the savior of art, in that there is always something to do. There's always, if you are a musician, there's always music to make, although sometimes the inspiration doesn't come. There's always something to do, and there's always your interpretation of the world, and no matter where it's at, there's always, you can always make. My other yeah. Oh yeah. Also mix in the other side of the road. Oh man. Hell yeah. Here comes Guinness with the butthole. I can see him priming himself.
He's thinking about it.
For his big appearance.
He heard you complaining.
Oh, there it is. Butthole cam. Now he just left. Yeah, that's my purpose usually. Usually I'm on the stream to cover Guinness's butthole.
Summer the hole coverer.
I'm the hole coverer. That's my main, because apparently when I'm not here, he just lays there. Every time I'm on the stream, he just gets up and shows his butthole. So we started covering the butthole area with my face. I'm the like not safe for work, you know? Part of this, you know? Okay. Should we wrap up a ton of thoughts? I have a hot tub to get into.
Dang, get your
so
hot
I don't
tub.
want to prematurely end this one, but I do feel like we're coming to a close. And as much as I've talked about this hot tub and as many years as we've waited for this hot tub, I still have not gotten in the hot tub. We have just done chemistry on the hot tub and, you know, gone through a series of ridiculous events to obtain the hot tubs. Hot tub. Only one. So right now. So yeah. I am going to go get in this hot tub. Are you going to continue the stream and be taking
I am going
more?
to continue the stream. We're going to go back to the serious business of audio engineering.
Serious.
So, folks,
I'm sorry to do a big distract. That was a ton of thoughts.
We love the big distract. I think that everyone, we always pick up viewers. They stick around. They love summer. So good job. I will see you next time. Let's 7 out of 10 decent thoughts today. Okay, well we'll level it up next time.
Oh yeah,
Forest
for sure.
Rider is a big fan. And all right.
All right. Have a good rest of stream. I'll see you guys next Wednesday.
Cool. See you, Summer.
Bye.